Welcome to Forbidden Transformation with Karen and Chris. My name is Karen Holton, and I'm co-hosting from chilly Red Deer, Alberta in Canada. And my co-host is Chris Matthew of Forbidden Knowledge News, and he's down in chilly Colorado, USA. So we have that in common today, gay Chris.
Yes, it's pretty cold here as well. It was like -6 during the night. It warmed up a little bit, but it's pretty cold. They got some snow on the ground too.
Yeah, it's cold enough to test your frosticles up here for sure. It's like been up as much as -50. So yeah. So for those of you that are joining us for the first time, our mission is to support and educate the people of Earth and to assist them to evolve and discover extraterrestrial contact for yourselves. And in this way, we hope to help create and maintain the new positive timeline. And in future episodes, we plan to offer more about our ET experiences, guests with common experiences and goals, more about the quantum health transformation program, and any relative news as it occurs. So today, Chris and I actually were supposed to have two guests, but one couldn't make it. She's from Virginia, and they had massive snow blizzard. And so their power is in and out, in and out. She may join us during the show. That's Susan Blocker. Those of you who've seen previous episodes are familiar with her. And if not, we'll just soldier on. So both Tom and Susan offer online, outside of the box support through their website. So we're going to do screen share and show you what's available for those of you who are interested. And Chris, so how are you doing today?
Oh, Karen, thank you so much. I am doing very well. Thank you again for having this great show and platform and having me as your co-host. It's always a good time.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Do you have any announcements for us today, Chris?
Yes, I do. Let's see. First, thank you all for watching. I appreciate you guys tuning in every other week to our little show. I hope you get some good information from our program here. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Forbidden Knowledge News on YouTube and all popular podcast platforms. Our website is forbiddenknowledge.news. We also have a brand new show called Beyond Classified. It's exclusively on Rockfin. Rockfin is an awesome new decentralized, uncensored platform for free thinking content creators, independent media. There's so many amazing content creators there with us right now, like Charlie Robinson, Rex Bear, Sam Tripoli, Jimmy Dore, so many more. And you can click the link in the description. It's Rockfin, and you can sign up. You get for $10 a month, you get all of our premium content and all those other content creators premium content. But you can also get our free episodes from regular Forbidden Knowledge News on there as well. And those are completely free. You don't have to have a membership or anything. And it's a great backup platform, just like lbry.com, which is our official YouTube backup channel. Also, you can get right now tickets to Forbidden Knowledge News Con 2021. We're going to have 12 amazing presenters, including Karen Holton, Jim Willis, Preston Dennett, Ras Ben, Jared Murphy, Pierre Sabak, Micah Dank, Corey Hughes, Sonia Barrett, Dean Henderson, Deborah Tavares, and Leo Zagami. You can get those tickets. They're only $29.99 at our website, forbiddenknowledge.news. Also, if you become a premium Rockfin member, you can access last year's entire conference for free, as well as tons of premium content that you won't be able to see on YouTube. Also, last thing that I have to mention is C60. You guys really should check out C60, especially if you're looking to improve your health, to feel better. I've been taking it for maybe 5 or 6 months now, and I feel really great. I have more energy. I feel better than I felt in a year. I'm sleeping better. I've lost weight, which is not a usual side effect, but it can happen. And it's really amazing stuff. It's a super antioxidant. It cleanses your body of free radicals. Check out their website, c60purplebauer.com. Click the link in the description. You get 10% off your order plus free shipping. If for some reason that link doesn't work, you can use coupon code knowledge10 and also get your 10% off. And that is all I think I have for today, Karen.
Wonderful, Chris. Thank you. Now, I'm just going to add to that I also have been taking C60 now for, just over 3 months, maybe 4 months. And it's a real game changer. It's a real game changer. I'm almost 65. I'll be 65 on Wednesday. And when you've got a lifetime of health issues and my diet was not that great when I was younger and different things like that, we really need that extra boost. So I just wanted to agree with Chris. It is an incredible product, and it's allowed me to be more, have a better ability to rebound from anything. I haven't been sick at all, and my memory's improving. And I'm just overall having more energy and feeling better. And I got to tell you, there's nothing more precious than your health. If you don't have good health, you can't enjoy life the way we're meant to. So I just wanted to add to that. So I'll just get on with my announcements. So just reminding everyone, this is still a fairly new show, and we want to reach as many people as possible. And so we're asking everyone to share this show, like, subscribe, share, and share it with your friends, with your family, any groups you belong to on social media. We would really appreciate that. Would be great. And in order to participate.
Karen, just so you know, I don't know why, but I can't pull up the chat on any monitors. I don't know if it's something going on with my account or just something with the live stream, but the chat is not working. So just so you know, the chat won't be working tonight.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to take a look and see if there's any chance that I
Sure,
can?
I'm going to go get another monitor while you look at that to see if I can pull it up on there. It's right in the other room, so I'm going to go grab that while you look yourself.
Okay, all right. So I'm just going to take a look here, see if I can access the chat. Sorry about that, folks, and sorry about that, Tom, who's waiting, our guest. Just be a minute here. Just be a minute. Quick as a bunny rabbit, as my mom used to say. And
okay, let's see.
Whoops.
Yeah, it's running fine on the live stream. It's just the chat room is not showing up.
Guys, I'm not able to get the chat either, so it must be a technical problem with YouTube. So I apologize. Your comments are not going to be, we're not going to be able to take your comments after all. But please do leave comments on the replay. That would be great.
Yes, definitely.
And I want to tell you about a new show that I now have. It's called Convergence. Join me as I go live on People for People Radio every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. And that's www.peopleforpeople.ning.com. Right now, what I'm covering is more details about the intergalactic resettlement program. So please feel free to join. And also, we have a live chat on that platform as well. I want to remind everyone that you can now book from my website a private session called Intuitive Time with Karen and Chris. And this gives you a chance to actually meet with us on Zoom one-on-one and have support or conversation about pretty much anything you want. And I also want to mention that as intuitive contactees, both Chris and I offer our own intuition-based wisdom and powers of consciousness, so we can share our experiences and our insight and hopefully help you get into touch with your spiritual guides, if that's something that you would look forward to. And I also offer one-on-one ET contact support and spiritual support for the many people who have experienced extraterrestrials or ultra-terrestrials or just beings not of this world. Or again, if you want to make contact, have more contact, positive contact, I can also assist with that. So when you've tried mainstream or alternative supports and you're still feeling confused or discouraged maybe by your experiences, our services might be just what you need. And we have a coupon for 10% off, which is knowledge 10, the same coupon code that you would use for ordering your C60 purple power. We thought we'd keep it all the same so it's not confusing. And one other thing is you can help support my work by purchasing one of my beautiful Zen Domes orgone generators. I have been showing people the pyramids up till now, but I want to show you this disc. This particular one is made out of hematite. It's got a spiral, an amplifying spiral on one end. It's got all kinds of copper in there. And then on the back, there's also, you can't really see it, but there's also an amplifying spiral on the very back. And this shape is very effective, but it's fantastic for using on your body because of the nice smooth edges. And you can either put it right on your body like that, or you can massage with it. And these come in citrine, hematite, aquamarine, amethyst, and rose quartz. And they're just fantastic. So I'll give you an example. This hematite one I use because I get anxiety attacks. And I just put it right on my, midpoint on my torso, and it doesn't take very long. And it just seems to wick away that anxiety and leaves me feeling really, really peaceful. You can use these in the tub. You can use these for massage. They just feel fantastic. So I just wanted to point out one of my other designs for you today. And also, we're not making any more. So what we have is all we have left. So if there's a piece that you're interested in, I recommend you get it. There's quite a few, so it's not like you have to run out and buy it today, but just keep that in mind. And then finally, I want to say that all the links are in the description box below. And before we bring in on our guests, so like I had mentioned, we had two guests, but one of them has power issues today, so we will bring her on another time. But before we bring Tom on, I'm wondering, Chris, is there any other information you want to give us about the conference? I'm so excited. I enjoyed it so much last year. What a terrific lineup. What kind of topics are going to be covered?
Well, let me pull up my list here and see what we got. Well, Karen, go ahead while I'm pulling that up and tell us a little bit about your presentation.
Okay, my presentation is called Love, Sex, and Politics in Outer Space. And it's probably not what you think, because these are very highly evolved beings and they have a very different way of interacting. And of course, everything that's in the higher dimensions is love-based. And so those of you who have heard my talks before about the Intergalactic Resettlement Program, I'm going to be getting way into more detail than you've ever heard before about love and what does that mean? What does that look like? And how does that affect both sex and politics in outer space? So I think it's a very interesting talk, and it's going to be, it's also going to be interactive. So I'll be stopping at different points within my presentation and taking questions. So all the things you want to know about those topics in outer space, I'll be happy to share that information with you. So
That's going to be awesome.
Find your list? Oh, awesome.
Okay. So next we have Jim Willis. He's going to be talking about ancient advanced civilizations, possible technologies, and ancient spirituality. Ross Ben is going to be talking about the pseudo pandemics of our past, of recent past. Preston Dennett, he is going to be talking about ET contact and astral travel. Sonia Barrett is going to be talking about consciousness expansion and spiritual development. Jared Murphy is going to be also talking about advanced ancient civilizations, and he has some amazing research he's done on engineered soil and polygonal construction that has
Mhm.
not been talked about much, and it's really kind of blowing up right now with these researchers like Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson, who I had on last night. He's got some really groundbreaking stuff to present there. Pierre Sabak is going to be talking about interdimensional contact. Micah Dank is going to be talking about astrotheology in the Bible. Corey Hughes is going to be giving his second presentation on the JFK assassination, which is going to be a very thorough presentation, and it's going to be amazing. All new information you haven't heard before in this one as well. Dean Henderson, he's going to be talking about the Nephilim crown apocalypse and everything that's kind of going on right now under our noses. Deborah Tavares will be giving a similar talk, but she's going to have documentation showing the actual nefarious things going on behind the scenes with actual documentation from these corporations and politicians and things that she's found that are readily available online that expose all this corruption. And then finally, we've got Leo Zagami. He's going to be talking about the AI takeover of man and our upcoming dystopia, which is very important right now. I put together this presentation, with everything going on in mind, so we can have a nice perspective of not only current events and things that you can't really talk about on YouTube and they're not going to mention in the media, but some of the more spiritual, paranormal, and extraterrestrial contact as well. So I have a nice mix of things going into this conference. So it's going to be an amazing conference, and that's at forbiddenknowledge.news. You can get your tickets now.
And I understand, Chris, that the terrific lineup, by the way. I understand that it's $29.99 for all 3 days, or
for all 3 days.
All 3 days.
$29.99 for all 3 days.
Wow, that's a great deal. That's a great deal. And yes, I'm pretty excited about that. Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much.
Of course.
And so now we're going to talk to Tom. And Tom began his awakening journey in 2012, where he would soon experience several paranormal occurrences that eventually led to some unexplained sightings. By 2019, he built his website to not only give other newly awakened souls something to identify with, but to also share the information he discovered through the work of many healers, channelers, spiritualists, scientists, ufologists, whistleblowers, and truth seekers. Tom, how are you doing today?
I'm very well. Thank you both for having me on your show.
Wonderful. Now, you should be able to screen share when you're ready. And
okay, I'll just briefly mention, that I never had any religious instruction as a kid. I never had any experiences. So what happened to me towards the end of 2011, 2012 was, it was, a little shocking to say the least. So, with that, I'll just explain that with the paranormal experiences I had and the coincidences, it definitely made me want to research more about what was happening. And I had started writing a book, which, that's time consuming. And I have like a good chunk of it written, but I got to the point where I realized I could probably reach people a lot faster if I built a website. So in early 2019, that's when I started building the site. So I will now share screen. Let's see. Whoops. Make sure this is. Go back. Here we go. Hopefully this comes up.
We can see it.
Okay. Yeah, so
beautiful.
Originally, it just said with Inside Out, an awakening call for change. And yet I felt it necessary to write in this bottom portion here, which says the site was launched in July of 2019, before the pandemic, lockdowns, the 2020 US election, and the recent events of 2021. More than ever, the information found within the expanding resource pages could help those looking for answers during these challenging times. Please pass this site along to someone you know who may need it. Thank you. And there's a reason why I put this in here, which I will get to. But so I wanted to keep, the site, simple yet visually appealing. And the bottom line is I had to explain my awakening to an extent, what I learned from other people, and also give some resources. So let me go into the resource pages right now. And there you have, I put in the little caution there. This information may cause excessive thinking, feeling, mental exhaustion, self-reflection, and awareness. These resources share a desire to know who we are, why we're here, what's really going on, and how to make the world a better place, which warrants their inclusion. Any religious or political convictions are their own. And there's a lot of information in here that, the average person like myself, 9-10 years ago, might, find hard to grasp, contemplate, and that's why I put this in here. But I added health first because, given the state of the world, it became obvious, an obvious choice, because as a collective, I wouldn't say the human race is very healthy right now. But as we go in there, you have a couple meditating on the beach, and a lot of different people who, offer different healing modalities, and there's different speakers who, have other people's best interests at heart, physically, mentally, emotionally. So there's a lot of good information in here. You talk about frequencies, cognitive behavioral therapy, empathy and narcissism, which, they're topics I think that everybody should try to understand more about how we can be as humans. I have Karen in there, of course, with her website. And I won't read off the whole list, but there's a lot of good stuff in here. And it took, a long time to just jot down names for all these resources and put it all together. But this is my health section. So I highly
Wonderful.
advise people to go in there and take a look, and then back out of there. And then I have my science section. And aside from the fact that it seems we are currently living in a science fiction, science fact world these days, I wanted to point out the growing spiritual factor of science that is upon us. So click in here. This Carl Sagan quote: "Science is not only compatible with spirituality, it's a profound source of spirituality." And you have these three gentlemen who have given many interesting lectures on how powerful our minds really are. Greg Braden, Joe Dispenza, and Bruce Lipton, who I actually saw give a lecture, I think it was 2013, on epigenetics, and it was fascinating. And then also to the other side there, I have sites on metaphysics, because they discuss our world beyond the physical and how our thoughts can affect and shape our reality. And there's one quote I wrote down from a page in there, which I thought was kind of fitting. It just said, "Spiritual awakening and spiritual awareness are not so much about discovering something that did not exist before. Rather, it is discovering, or perhaps more precisely, rediscovering something that has always been, even though it may have been hidden away for a time." And that's kind of like the conclusion that I eventually came to with my awakening was, like how long had this been going on, But so as I back out of here, I will now go to the channeling page. And channeling messages are something I first started with Barbara Marciniak's book, Bringers of the Dawn, which I mentioned in my story, Rise and Shine. And, sorry, wrong page, channeling. And I chose Daryl Anka, Lee Carroll, and Esther Hicks because they are probably some of the most well-known channelers who've been doing it for over 30 years and in front of large audiences. And I also mentioned a few of the more famous channeled writings, including, Barbara's book, which has a link here to the audio book of Bringers of the Dawn, and the Seth material by Jane Roberts, and A Course in Miracles by Helen Schumann, along with some other websites, and of course a link to Edgar Casey's Association for Research and Enlightenment. So yeah, there's, again, I think all of these subjects within my resource pages, they're all interlinked, and all these topics just were one kind of slowly led to another, and that's why I included them all. And then my UFOs page, here's another topic that won't be going away anytime soon. And while this section is one that I would also like to expand on, I've included some of the most well-known ufologists with years of research and material between them. And of course, there's some websites and links with information. But who was it? Stephen Greer, I also saw in 2016 at the New Living Expo. And that was, fascinating. And I've listened to many of their, you can go to YouTube and look these guys up, and they just, just fascinating stuff that, I never really contemplated before until I started having my experiences, and then slowly but surely it all kind of started making sense, that we're not alone. And I think we're just being contacted, but slowly, So back out of here. And of course, I have the Truth Seekers section. And this is the one that I spent the most time in, especially over the last year. It has a broad spectrum of people and subjects, with the common denominator being that we're all looking for answers to some of life's biggest questions. Who are we? Why are we here? What is really going on behind the scenes? And also how there's a positive, there's positive changes occurring for our future. And there's a lot of names in here. So I kind of alluded to digging deeper, so you could scroll down and see some of these names. And I'm always adding, that's why I make little notes about the new, so any returning visitor to the site knows what are some of the new people I put in here. But a lot of different names, Thomas Campbell, who talks about consciousness, and Kerry Cassidy from Project Camelot, Jordan Maxwell, Kathy O'Brien, MK Ultra sex slave survivor and author of Transformation of America. A lot of good names in here. Again, took me a lot of time to just put all this in here. I'm a one-man show doing this website, and it's good stuff. And you just have to get to the point where you want to research this, you want answers. And I think that that's happening now. More and more people are looking for answers. And, I don't have the answers. I don't think anybody has the definitive answers for anything, but it's sure nice to know that there's other people out there who all, are seeking and searching for the same answers. And a new page I added as I back out is maps, which it has some consciousness maps, as you can see. Wow. Here's a big iceberg. This is kind of what we do know. And then here's some of the other things that are kind of have been hidden from us, different levels down below. And then I have another map below this, the Great Awakening. And then below here, some of these maps will really make your head hurt. You know, you gotta proceed with caution in here. But there's a lot of information. You know, you kind of have to zoom in on a lot of it because it's so condensed. And further down, there's another one. And below that, there's one
Wow,
more.
these show that everything is connected, eh?
Yeah. And, you know,
Wow.
it will make you think. So again, this is new. I added these. I plan on, you know, potentially adding more as I go along.
Mm-hmm.
And then.
Whoa. Before you go back,
Sure.
can you show the top section? If you click on those, will you get different maps? Like where the one that says the matrix right above your cursor? Or is it just showing that those are all things that go in that category? Are they links? Each one?
Yeah, no, they're just like JPEG pictures, which, you know, you can download yourself. You can just click save and then zoom in, which you'll definitely need to do with some of these on the bottom.
So each one of those on the top section is a map. Will open into a map.
Yes, like this opening is separate from this map, which is separate from this map. You know, so they're all separate maps. And I do advise clicking and saving because, you know, it's definitely nice to kind of zoom in a little bit and save it for future reference.
So visitors to your site can click on and save any one of these, and that's okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Yep. Awesome.
So as I back out of here, so that's the resource pages. And I do plan on, I have some ideas on adding maybe a few more in there. And I'm always adding, it's always expanding. I'm always, you know, working on it. So just want people to know that. And then up here, past resources is what I called waking up. And I playfully put the rooster in there because, you know, they like to wake people up. And I wanted to explain some of what I experienced, but also what other people had described with their awakenings. And this section is also why I mentioned on the homepage that I built this site in July of 2019, before 2020, and this world-changing decade we are now in. But with all that has happened after I made these pages and the many people's lives that have been turned upside down in ways I never could have imagined, I feel that some of the words in this section may now seem obvious or even redundant. But I'll just give a brief description of what's in here and let any future visitors of the site venture into them on their own. So Storms is about the challenging aspects of awakening, not only mine, but what I learned from others who've shared their stories. Beliefs is how my view of the world was altered with all the new information I would continue to come across in 2012 and beyond. And Rabbit Holes describes how the more you research, discover, and question our world, the more your consciousness gets expanded. And occasionally you'll feel overwhelmed trying to process all the new information. Again, there's some reading involved, nothing too heavy, but it's just one more thing to just describe what awakening is about. But I will leave this to future visitors to go in and venture on their own. And then there's my story. I figured I had to kind of explain to an extent what happened. And you can imagine my surprise when I found out that Susan's name for her website was Rise and Shine. Her website's name is Rise and Shine. And I was like, yep, there's the universe again, hard at work, connecting the dots for me. But so Rise and Shine goes into a little more detail about how my personal awakening came to be and how certain things led me to reflect on parts of my past, which would become clues as to how certain events of my life are linked in a non-linear way. But in keeping this story short, I didn't cover all the details. I gave enough for the reader to get the basic gist. However, for those interested, I do discuss many of my paranormal and unexplainable coincidences on episode 24 of Karen's Quantum Guide Show.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's there's a little reading involved, but I do think it really kind of gives an idea of what what it was like and what I went through,
Mm.
and it's in hindsight it was amazing, and I'm grateful for so many things. I'm grateful for all my experiences. I had to understand this and learn this the hard way, but when I reconnected with a dear old friend and I saw that somehow there was meaning in everything, even things in our past, it really helped push me along with this website and writing my story. So that is there for anybody who would like to read it. And then with New Paths, it's basically a summation of where I'm currently at, what I think is happening, and why I remain hopeful for humanity. But again, I won't read this off to you, but I will leave that for I did add this little thing, there are those asleep, there are those awake, and if we can all get together, we will be as one.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
this is a great website. I wish I would have had something like this whenever I
Yeah.
was first coming around to everything, to kind of look at everything as a bigger perspective.
yes,
You did a great job.
thank you for mentioning
Mhm.
that, because in a way, that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to build a website that I only wish I could have come across in early 2012 when, I thought I was potentially losing my mind. There
Yeah.
was so much going on and so much to contemplate. And that's another reason why I did it. I mean, I really just wanted to help people, and there are those who are far more awakened than me, who might, think, oh, this is nice and this is helpful to people. And then there's other people who are totally asleep, will click on this page and go running for the hills.
Yeah.
And this website is not for them. But there is good information there for those who are newly awakened or who know people who are starting to kind of have their own experiences and are looking for answers. So
Yeah.
that's it in a nutshell. I didn't want to read too much. This is only the second time I've done a show. I did your first show, Karen, Quantum Guides, episode number 24, which, I was nervous then, I'm a little nervous now. It's hard. It was hard enough, like throwing your life story out there and building this website. And it's equally hard to just kind of come online and speak about it. But
Yeah.
I know I really wanted to do it. I have to do it. It's part of my path. So that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah. Before you close that out, I just want to make a couple comments. I want to say that a lot of us, after we wake up and adjust to it, and that takes basically the rest of our lives, because things keep changing. And like you said, our awareness keeps expanding. But I got to tell you, in your resources section, I would say 75% of the resources you have listed are ones that I found, but just from stumbling around and just being driven to keep searching. And like Chris said, I had to go all over the place to try to find out, who had information that I could trust, what was going on. One of the very first sites I went to was the Spirit Science, which is just so fabulous at laying things out very simply for everyone to understand.
Yep.
But all the people and all the sources that you've mentioned, I would say about 75% are ones that I've personally used and benefited from. So this is not just a random selection of resources that sound good. These are actually what we've used in our evolution. And you've just done such a fantastic job of putting this together very succinctly. I can't applaud you enough for the work you've done, because this is like one-stop shopping for everything people need to know when they're waking up, so that they can feel part of something and not feel like they're completely losing their mind. What's interesting is 2012 was also pivotal for me. And then I was compelled to also have a website. I was compelled to do what I've been doing, and I've never stopped. And I just keep going and keep going. A lot of this is going to take people outside of their comfort zone, but that's where the growth is. The growth is not inside the comfort zone. So for those that are brave enough to want to know more, I'm just so happy you came on the show today, Tom, and shared this. And I know it's not easy to put yourself out there. I was just thinking the other day, I've been producing videos and shows and stuff now for just over a year. It's taken me this long to start to relax and enjoy the shows while I'm participating in them. And I just can't, I can't praise you enough for the work that you've done. And this is a tremendous gift. It doesn't cost anybody anything. I noticed you even have a contact me tab. So what kind of people would contact you, and what would they be looking for? And also, what are your boundaries on what you're prepared to give folks when they contact you?
Well, just advice, any questions they may have. I'll click on that since it's the one page I didn't actually open. And I have gotten some emails, not a lot, I'll admit. I think most people, but it's hard to process this, if you're not new to awakening, or if you're in those early stages and you might not feel comfortable talking about it. And I understand that. But again, just any questions people might have, any suggestions, any, potential, links that don't work, because I've had to, especially in the truth seeker section, I am constantly going in there and checking links to see who's been banned, who's, been moved, because it seems like there's a lot of that going on. So I need to constantly keep checking around to make sure everything works. So if anybody ever found anything that didn't work, can send me an email. And I also added the little note here on the bottom that if you didn't hear back from me, check your spam folder, because I did have someone who was not able to, they didn't realize that I had wrote them back, and then they finally got back to me. So it's like, with some people that might go, a reply might go to their spam. So that's why I added that in there. But yeah, it's just been it's been quite the journey. And I wouldn't have done this without all the other people who I found online first. And I listened to their stories, and I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy. Okay, there's other people go through this. This is good. And yeah, it was just years of just taking notes. I have some, one day I might just show you. I have like paper with like scribbles and of names of things all on it. It's all over the place. Nothing really makes sense. It's just like names written all over the place in the initial year that I held on to, because I knew it's like, I know you once said, Karen, that your memory, sometimes retaining information, is a challenge. And I had the same problem. This is why I'm constantly writing down everything. I jot down notes, I jot down names. And by saving all that and having all that, when I decided to build this website, I had all that information kind of ready to go. And I'm always adding new names, looking for new things to, quench my thirst for what is going on. But, there's definitely, there's changes happening. There's an awakening happening. And it's great. It's painful. It's a lot of things, but the bottom line, it's necessary. It's necessary. It's been necessary for a long time. And, I just hope we can all just make it through this as smoothly as possible.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add to something Karen said earlier about your resources and the researchers you mentioned. I use those websites and a lot of the stuff you mentioned all the time. I have for years, and many of the researchers you listed have been guests on my show, which is really cool. To see that you're on the same page with the information and the people that are presenting it. Yeah, this is a great source of information for people who are wanting to know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I thank you. And I think it's inevitable that, like, we all will eventually kind of start coming to the same conclusions and being kind of drawn to the same people, so no, that's
Mhm,
great.
mhm.
But yeah, I mean, so thank you both for what you do, and your stories are amazing. Your experiences. I mean, I've had some strange stuff, but your experiences are definitely, pretty mind blowing. And, I applaud you both for, putting them out there and sharing it with all of us, and for the show that you do, because, we're all in this together, right?
We sure are. We sure are. Um, I sorry, I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh no, that's okay. Yeah, I'd love to have you on my show sometime if you'd like to discuss your experiences and a little bit about what you've gone through. If you feel like coming on sometime.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, again, there was so much of it that on Karen's show, I mean, like, I had to, like, jot things down and read from notes, because, like, there's just so much and it's all kind of interlinked. And again, it's like, it's just nervous and hard for me to, like, remember everything. It's like, because there's just so many different things that happened progressively at different times along the way that just continue to amaze me. And, you know,
Yeah, I had to write down my story as a whole
Yeah,
in a notepad. So yeah.
I have to work from notes all the time. I get a bit nervous and then I forget what I'm saying. I just wanted to also add, Tom, that I think your experience is probably closer to what most people experience when they start having paranormal experiences. My experience is not that common. And I don't know why I've had the experiences I've had. I can't explain any of that. I sure can't take credit for it. But I think what's really important is that when people hear your experiences, Tom, it's going to resonate with a lot of people. And so the potential for inspiring and helping other people is amazing. And I just really appreciate your work so much. I appreciate the fact that you reached out to me, that I met you, that you're my friend. I'm very grateful to have both you and Chris as my friends. My goodness, what did I ever do to deserve that? I don't know, but
Well, I feel
yeah.
the same way, so thank you. And I just want to say too, when I say paranormal, I don't mean it to sound like terrifying, like, for anybody who might be like, well, I don't want to know about that. I don't want to draw that into my world. It was, a little alarming, to say the least, a lot of what happened, but ultimately I saw why I learned why it was happening, and it all kind of made sense. And it also became a relief, if you will. So it's not
Mhm,
to scare anybody off. It's all good in the end.
mhm. It
So I just
sure
wanted to
is.
add that.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's great.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Chris.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, paranormal experiences aren't necessarily all bad. It's just something that's not normal, not out of
Mm,
the ordinary that you can't explain. So yeah, I'd be looking forward to having you on and discussing that.
Okay.
wonderful, wonderful. So, Tom, if you want to exit the screen share, I'm not trying to get rid of you, but I thought with the few minutes that we have, you go to the top where you
Right.
see that green. Yeah, there we go. Wonderful. And I'm going to, I don't know if it will let me. Oh, okay. I'm going to just, I have to open up my website. I'm going to follow along with my website. But before I do, I just want to thank you so much, Tom, for being on the show today and for the courage that it takes to go public. I know it's not really been that easy for me either, but it's important. And this is the work we've chosen to do. So I just want to thank you so much. And I hope people, the links will be in the description below. And I hope people come and pay you a visit and, make use of some of that incredible information. Yeah, just great job. Before I go into this, Chris, did you have anything you wanted to say?
Oh no, go ahead and start your screen share.
Okie dokie. There it is. So I think quite a few of you have already been to my website, but I thought I would just give you a little rundown on what to expect here. on the main page, of course, I've got some of my products that scroll across here. All of these pictures are like portals. So when you click on Alien Implant or Zendone's Organite or Comfort Crystals or free resources, it's going to take you right there. And then, of course, across the top, you've also got, all the tabs there. And then I have a little description. Why I started the website was to offer the free program I downloaded called 9 Steps to Quantum Health Transformation. When I say I downloaded that, it's downloaded not from an earthly source. This is from my guides. And they are also the ones that turned me on to the Zendone's Organite. I have a few comfort crystals, not too many. I've got quite a few lifestyle services, and then I've got the free resources. So today, what I'd like to do is just talk a little bit about the free resources. I've got a thing here you can click and watch the first episode of this show is there as well. So I'm going to go to free resources, and I have tons of videos about orgone generators. Everything you can even imagine about them is there. And even if you don't buy my orgone generators, not everyone can afford them. I'll just click this and just show you. What you will see is there's just all kinds of information here. And you can make them yourself. You can buy them from other people. There's just so many ways to put more orgone generators in your life. And again, like I said, none of these are compelling you to purchase mine. They're just there. This is the Quantum Health Transformation free online course. So it's got the welcome and the introduction, and then it's got step 9, step 8. And each one of these has at least 2 videos. It has a sort of a slideshow presentation, which is now all narrated. This is what you're going to learn in this component of the course. You can download the PDF for each one of these. I do charge $3.99. Now that's Canadian. So in American, that's like about $2 per PDF. And then you can copy them, share them, use them any way you want. So for this one, here's the slideshow, and then here's the live one where I'm actually doing a live workshop for people, and I've filmed it. And there's so that's how each one is laid out. So just going back. So each one has at least 2. Step 6, I love this picture of the guy with the little critter on his beard. Step 6 is got quite a lot of information. So it's got the primer on how to detoxify your external self, how to detoxify your internal self, how to detoxify your emotions, live workshops. And then I included another video I found online on makeup and breast cancer, and which is a sort of a scientific information about how a lot of the things that we use in personal care products and stuff actually make us sick. They're actually quite toxic. And then I do it in descending orders. You're actually supposed to start with step 9. You actually should start here and work your way through. And I think step 5 is all about food. What's a biologically appropriate diet? About 95, if not more, % of everything you buy at the supermarket, it's not even food. It doesn't even have life force anymore. A lot of people have no idea about that. So each one of these gets into more and more information. But you kind of need to start at step 9 so that you've got the foundation to work your way to prepare you for step 8. Once you do that, it prepares you for step 7. I know it's a little different, but I'm a little different, so I've done that a little bit different too. I just want to show you, I also have all kinds of video podcasts. I have all my appearances on other people's shows. I've got the Quantum Guide show that you mentioned, Tom, and you can just scroll through. This is in descending order. these can also be found on my website, but see, here's the episode with Tom on there. They can also be found on the website, but this, if you want everything in one place, you would come to my website. So I've got the Quantum Guide Show. I've got my published articles. I've got all my audio podcasts, which after today or tomorrow will include my new shows called Convergence. That's a radio show, so it's audio only. I've got my blog, and then I've got my links and my resources. These published articles, it was a couple of years ago now, but it was during my awakening process. So I was selected amongst 50 women internationally to write for Sybil magazine for the spirit and soul of women. Now, don't be turned off by this, because the information is extremely valuable for everyone. And so I was able to write 12 full-page articles. These are the magazine issues that my articles have showed up in, and all kinds of information there. So that's about all I'm going to share for my website. I'm not going to get into, if you want to learn more about me, my story, how I created Vials, which is the parent company, there's a lot of information there. Of course, there's shopping. There's more. I've got some workshops and events. So the Forbidden Knowledge News Con will be in there. Just I haven't put it in yet. And that's about it that I'm going to share for me. And I think
I wanted to say that I got 2 of your orgone generators, and they're beautiful. And I just want your listeners to know that you really, if you want to get some, get them from Karen, because they're beautiful works of art. So I thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Yeah, those are great. I have quite a few myself.
Thank you. Thank you so much for supporting my work. It really, really helps. We put a lot of care into them. They're all, one thing that is different about my orgone generators is that I do ritual with them. I do create quantum entanglement. So every orgone generator that I've ever had, ever sold, have now, or will ever sell in the future or make in the future, they're all energetically linked. And when they go out into the world, whether they go to Australia or they go to Louisiana or California or Alaska or Europe, they are forming a network, a net over the planet of a positive, healing, beautiful energy. So pretty excited about that. So I guess Susan isn't going to make it today, but we're going to have her on another time. And she's put a lot of work also into her website. It's completely different than mine, completely different than Tom's. And it isn't about one person's website being better than anyone else's. It's about we all offer resources and the things we're compelled to share. With Chris, it would be his show. And so what happens is we're compelled to bring this information to help other people. And so we're creating this also very large clan or family of people that are all on point, and we're all offering things that are going to hopefully benefit the viewers and make this planet something amazing, because we can do that no matter what's going on out there. Doesn't matter. We've got this going on, and this is way more powerful, and I'm pretty excited about it. So before I go into some closing remarks, Tom or Chris, do you have anything else you want to share?
I just want to mention that I'm not showing my website because it's really simple. All it is you're going to get your tickets to Forbidden Knowledge NewsCon. You can watch the previous episodes on YouTube, and you can listen to our podcasts. And there's a link to Rockfin. So it just has all our show information and everything that we're doing with the podcasts. So it's pretty simple. It's forbiddenknowledge.news if you want to check that out.
Wonderful. Yeah, each one of us offer different things. And how amazing is that? So I do encourage everyone to get your tickets. So what we offer and what to expect from future shows, this is a bi-weekly show. So that means it's every 2 weeks. It's always on a Sunday at 12 noon Pacific time, 1 o'clock Mountain or 2 o'clock Central or 3 o'clock Eastern time. And I encourage you all to check out the consultation and support services that Chris and I offer from my website. which is www.karenholtonhealthcoach.com. And my name is spelled KarenHolton, healthcoach.com. I'm a different kind of health coach. And we now have a Forbidden Transformation Facebook group to offer private peer-to-peer support. Let us know if you'd like to be a member, and better yet, if you'd like to be a moderator, because we want to keep this a very clean group, a small group, a private group where we can actually be ourselves, share our information, and support each other. And I want to thank everyone for your emails. I'll continue to do my best to respond. And if you'd like to contact us, that's forbiddentransformation@gmail.com. And again, the links will be in the description below. And our next show is Forbidden Transformation episode 14, and it'll be another interactive show with a discussion and a question and answer component. So I'm really hoping YouTube will let us have the live chat. That would be great. And so that will be February 28th. Oh my God, where's the year going? 2021.
And Karen, I would check your settings for your live chat just to make sure they haven't disabled it for some reason, because YouTube's been screwy lately and they've been messing with people.
Yeah, they really.
Possibility.
No, I will, because, and another problem I'm having, Chris, is there's no notification bell on my YouTube channel. And so what's happening is people aren't able to get notifications. And I did a lot of research through the question and the answer. I mean, it's very hard to get a live person with YouTube, but I did a lot of research, and the best I can suggest to people is that you unsubscribe and then resubscribe. They are claiming that that works, but it does for some people and others not. So I don't know why they won't give me a notification bell either.
The chat just started working, by the way.
Oh my God,
I was
that's
just
hilarious.
able to pull it up at the end of the show. Amazing.
Oh, isn't that hilarious? Well, I'm sorry, folks, that we weren't able to take the chat today, but next time, mañana, as they say, right?
Yep, next time.
So that's about it for today, folks. And until next time, Chris and I wish you much love and light and happiness. And thank you again, Tom, for joining us. It was fantastic. And I'm really excited about your website. Thank you, everybody, so very much.
Thank you for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tom.
Tom,
everyone, have an excellent evening.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.